Locals are voicing concern over an upcoming development in Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, these townships are taking steps in preparation for big data. What was once a beacon for girls at the mall is closing stores nationwide. Also, maybe pause what you got going on and relax at this bar in York. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in PA. One of Pittsburgh's most highly anticipated development projects is the Esplanade, which will span 15 acres of waterfront property in the city's Chateau neighborhood and cost about $740 million to complete, reports CBS Local Pittsburgh. But a local group of residents, known as the Manchester Neighbors, have a few concerns. Last week, during a press conference on Thursday, the group said they released a 95-page report on their website that assesses the area's environmental conditions and historical resources. According to the report, the proposed development site is heavily polluted with dozens of hazardous compounds, many of which, according to one expert, are carcinogenic. Also, given the low elevation of the land, there's concerns over flood risk at the future development. Manchester Neighbors founder Stanley Ann Lowe accused both officials and project developer Pyatt companies of not telling people the full story. Said he, quote, "When you look at this site and you remember the Pyatt companies coming to the community, did they bother to tell us about the garbage, the toxicity that's down here? No, they never once raised that." Pyatt companies, in response, stated, quote, "The Commonwealth has approved the redevelopment of the site from an environmental risk perspective. We are confident that no health or environmental problems will result from the proposed development." It seems that the coming of AI data centers to Pennsylvania is inevitable, reports Lehigh Valley Live. So, Palmer and Forks townships want to rein in big data by crafting ordinances that lay down some ground rules. Palmer, for one, adopted an ordinance that restricts data centers to a certain region in the area. They also can't be more than 7 stories high. Forks has drafted one of their own, to be reviewed on September 4th, which allows data centers to be approved by conditional use in the township's industrial zoning district, and keeps them at 6 stories high max. Both ordinances also require power lines to be installed underground and out of sight when possible, and place regulations on things like noise, light pollution, parking, and landscaping. Documentation to make sure there's enough water, sewer, and power capacity at each facility, too, is also a requirement. Many female listeners out there of a certain age might remember stopping at a Claire's at the mall back in the day, states PennLive. Anyone else get their ears pierced there? Well, I am sorry to say that the chain filed for bankruptcy earlier last month. It's also closing down hundreds of stores during the bankruptcy process, including 16 locations in Pennsylvania. For more information on which stores are closing, and maybe to get your final piercing, if they even still do that, please click on the corresponding podcast article link. It's a place where you can pause and take a load off, says the York Daily Record. A new dog-friendly bar called Wolf Bar is opening up in York this month at the New York Wireworks building. Owner Corey Wolf, very appropriate name, was inspired by the hospitality of York County when creating this spot, specifically the community and helping one's neighbor aspect of Pennsylvania Dutch culture. Once open, Wolf Bar will serve local brews, non-alcoholic drinks, and a Pennsylvania Dutch-Asian fusion menu. That wraps up today's episode. Hope you all had a lovely extended weekend. For even more news, visit PennLive.com, and please remember to leave this podcast a rating and to share it around with your family and friends. Thanks ahead of time, and of course, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and hope to see you for tomorrow's episode of Today in PA.